Well, this is the end of the Caleb Show. I really don't know what to say, to be honest. This ain't one of those I'm your host, Caleb Cagle today episode, because just simply put, I don't know what to say. It's like, I knew the end was coming. Just I got so distracted with this, I just never really thought about it for long. You know, how about instead of being the stuffy classroom with this, quite frankly, awful green screening I do, we head outside for a bit and take a step out of the box, per se. Here we are, outside of that stuffy classroom, out of that terrible green screening I do. Here it is. 4 years of my life spent in this one building. But you know, as much as I hate being there, I don't want to be all in all day, every single day. I have always found something redeeming about this place every single year. Every year it's always had this redeeming factor about it that I just can't explain. Like this year I had the Caleb Show. It's a fun experience sometimes, until you're out here in the windy weather. You're not realizing it's going to be windy out, but it's alright. I enjoy it. Somewhat. But honestly, if I had to pick my favorite year of high school, it would be freshman. Everything's new. You get to find all the fun stuff the fun way. And you know, you don't get much work. Like, here's the thing. Middle school tells you you get a lot of work in high school. It's not really that much. Actually, it's probably less than 8th grade. Here's a story about how I got to here, making this show. It all started, it's sophomore year actually. It was my first day. I just took teaching as a profession, and there I met Matthew Dotson himself. And this would change the course of my high school forever, to be honest, in a way that just can't be explained. But during this time, I saw the creation of the audiovisual channel by Bryce Coates. You know, back then it was just part of FTA. And I wanted to join. I always wanted to make stuff for YouTube. Actually, when I was in 7th grade, I did, but we're not going to talk about my time on YouTube then. Let's just focus on the now. But back to my point, junior year came around, and I was able to edit a video. That was the High School Musical preview. The first ever video I edited. Still on the channel to this day, I hope. Until we get our 3rd copyright strike, that is. But then around the same time, I had an idea for a show. Actually, a couple ones. Like, I had an idea for a high school police, which was a unique skit. But one of them was a show about me, because I liked it. Back then it was called The Announcements. I was like, I want my own thing, but for myself. I know it kind of sounds egotistical, narcissistic, but anyways. I shelved the idea for the entirety of summer break. I came back to the spotlight from the most random events you could ever imagine. I go to Wikipedia one day to look at a steam locomotive picture I always looked at. It was not there. And somehow that spiraled into episode 1 of the Caleb Show. Just, that's how I am. But before that, I actually proposed the idea to Mr. Dotson, and well, he let it happen. I was impressed, to be honest, that he let that. And so I filmed and edited the first episode of the Caleb Show with the help of Mr. Dotson anyways. And well, after a few days of learning DaVinci Pro, the first episode was published on the August 29th. As I'm recording this, that was a long time ago by my standards. A long time ago. Now that my Caleb Show rant's over, how about I tell you, future high schoolers, some very important information about high school. Number 1, like a light switch. They always keep changing positions. They'll never make up their mind on something, because like by the end of the week, they've changed their mind. So, be warned. Second, not every grade matters. So you'll be handed a lot of quizzes, tests, all that kind of stuff. Not every single one has to be perfect. Now, not to say that you shouldn't focus on your grades, but Still, though, don't stress over getting that extra 1 point in math or something. Just try to take a chill pill and relax. Don't be like me threatening over every single thing I'm doing in life. Just chill. Okay? 3, your email is your best friend. Let me tell you this. You can communicate with your teacher very quickly, actually. That's how I talk to most of my teachers sometimes. Also, if you are at like junior or senior level, it is kind of mandatory to check. You always got something new going on. Which reminds me, if you have a phone, download email or Gmail. Actually, get Gmail and put your school one on there so that way you have it mobilely. 5th, don't believe college is your only option. School, I think, has a problem with telling people that college is the only way to get anywhere in life. It is not. I want you to keep that in mind when you head to high school, because by the time you get to high school, you kind of have to make up your mind. They'll say not to worry, but when you're that close to being an adult, you do worry and you do have to figure out what you're going to be. But remember this, college is not your only choice. You have more options, even though I'm going to college. So don't follow my footsteps. Lastly, just because they say high school is the best years of your life doesn't mean it's your last years. Trust me, you can find enjoyment in any time period of your life. You just need to find it. High school's not the only option for enjoyment. See, they only tell you that because adults have this thing we like to refer to as nostalgia. Because they believe, oh, I had a lot of fun in high school. Now, of course, without realizing that, hey, high school is not always sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. I mean, I've been Caleb Cagle. I'm glad to be the host of the Caleb Show, and I'm glad that you've been watching me. And have a good school year.